Steam Summer Sale 2024. This time we are looking at open world games. So I've tried not to just put Assassin's Creed and Far Cry games and come up with some interesting ones. So we start with Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is a medieval historical RPG set in the Holy Roman Empire in the 14th or 15th century, I'm not sure. And yeah, this is a more realistic style game where your character is quite weak at the start and you don't just magically become powerful. You have to train and improve and develop your character. And the quest and the stories are also very interesting. I've generally seen very positive reviews for this one. Everybody seems to love this, and this is a very reasonably priced game despite it being not that old. So 80% off, $599, $336 in India, $529 in the UK, $829 in Canada, $599 the Eurozone. At this point you might as well pick up the Royal Edition, which includes the other DLCs and stuff. So this is 80% off as well, $8, $448 in India. So next we have Days Gone. So Days Gone is a PlayStation port to PC. The port is pretty good. I've generally seen very good reviews for this game. Initially when it first came out, I don't think it did that well, and as a result we don't seem to have a sequel or something. But on PC, after it's been ported, it's generally been received very well. You can see 91% positive rating. So it's a zombie open world post-apocalyptic setting, and this one is 75% off. Usual price drops to 75% off during big sales. $1249, $824 in India, $10 in the UK, $1624 in Canada, $1249 in the Eurozone. Next is another mention for Forza Horizon 4. So as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, this is getting delisted from digital stores by the end of the year, 15th of December this year. And this is an open world arcade racing game. Lots of cars, lots of activities, houses to buy, hundreds of cars. Very enjoyable game. I think one of the better games in the series. I thought Forza Horizon 2 was very good, but sadly that was only exclusive to the Xbox One and 360. This one was on PC, on the Xbox Store. I have it on the Xbox Store. So yeah, I really enjoyed it, played it a lot via the Game Pass, then bought it on the Xbox Store as well. And then they ported it to Steam as well, which was excellent. So yeah, if you want this one, make sure to get it before the 15th of December. It is 80% now. Maybe we might see a slightly bigger sale of 90% before they remove it. But once you have it in your Steam library, you will be able to play it after the 15th. They won't remove it like Ubisoft did with The Crew. Next is Red Dead Redemption 2. So far in my videos, I've not had an opportunity to mention Red Dead Redemption. So I thought this would be the perfect time to put this in. So very popuular, very successful game. It was a prequel to the previous Red Dead Redemption game, which I had on PlayStation, and I really enjoyed it. So this one has won a lot of awards. Everybody loves it, and this is now down to its usual low price, which is 67%. So $1979, $1,055 in India, $1979 in the UK, $2639 in Canada, $1979 in the Eurozone. Next we have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. So if you want another massive open world style game with a co-op focus, multiplayer stuff, and lots of activities, then check out this one. Ubisoft is known for making big open world games, and this is, in my opinion, during their heyday or better period where the games were actually a little more fun. So this is 90% off, $499, $249 in India, $419 in the UK, $599 in Canada, $499 in the Eurozone. Next we have something new, V Rising. So V Rising recently got its full release. It was in early access for a couple of years, and this is a vampire base building open world style game. Isometric perspective, but it's not turn-based or anything. You could say similar to other isometric games, but not really. There's a lot more castle building and things like that, and bosses to fight. But it's a very good looking game, and another one with very positive reviews overall. So this is 30% off, $2449, $1,050 in India, $2065 in the UK, $3149 in Canada, $2449 in the Eurozone. Now this game was cheaper during its early access period, so that's why you see the price being much lower here. But now it is full release, plus the regional price has also been updated. Next is another popular game, Dying Light. Another game that I enjoyed quite a lot. I often mention this whenever I see it on sale. you have basically the main story has a big city open world with lot of buildings and things like that. So you have to climb and do a lot of parkouring, and this is first person parkouring. And then there is the expansion called The Following, where you are outside the main city areas and in the countryside, and you have a buggy to drive around in. So it sort of does both things very well. I personally prefer the congested city and running around, jumping, climbing stuff, but a lot of people like the other side as well. So you can see overwhelmingly positive as well. Now it has multiple versions. They've removed the base version, so you now get the enhanced edition and the definitive edition. The price difference is very, oh, they have the standard, but it's not on sale. So the price difference between the enhanced and the definitive is very minor. As you can see, a dollar difference, but this definitive edition is basically the most complete version. Everything is included, all the content, you know, skins and weapons and things like that, everything is here. So just get this at this point if you don't have the game. So this is $10, $2.99 in India, £7, $11.39 in Canada, 10 in the Eurozone. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition is our next game. So another PlayStation ported game. Initially was a little buggy, not the best port at launch, but they have patched it, it's better now. And unfortunately, this game, the regional price got increased. When it was released, it was very affordable, like 1,000 rupees, 1,100, and then they updated it to like 3,000. However, the sales are getting better and better, and we are below that price now. So it is $8.24, 75% off, $12.49, 10 in the UK, $16.24 in Canada, $12.49 in the Eurozone. Sunkenland. So this is a newer game, still in early access. I played and streamed a little bit of this last year. So this is your survival style game. You see a lot of these survival games, but I found this quite interesting because everything is underwater here. So you are in a sunken world, as the name suggests, and you have small islands and places where you can set up your base and your, I was going to say accommodation, but whatever you want to call it, colony, survival, base, whatever. Anyway, so you have to go underwater to scavenge for resources, fight off the sharks and other things. And then you also have these weird zombie type creatures on some of the islands that will come and attack your base. And also raiders are there. And it's also co-op, so you can get a few friends together and play this. Yeah, if you like these sort of games, then this is quite fun. You grow your crops and things like that, make your weapons and have some, you know, firewood and things like that, clean water, etc. So not an expensive game, 25% off, $15, $6.60 in India, $12.56 in the UK, $19.49 in Canada, $14.62 in the Eurozone. Next we have The Long Drive. So somebody commented and mentioned this game, so that's why I'm putting it here. So basically an open world post-apocalyptic game where you have your car and you have to sort of upgrade and improve your car and keep going, I suppose. So yeah, looks like a nice chill game. It's also very cheap. 75% off, $3.99, $1.82 in India, $3.37 in the UK, $5.19 in Canada. Next is Mafia Definitive Edition. So I'm a big fan of the original Mafia game, and this remake was also excellent. Came out in 2020. They tried to be very faithful to the original, just updated and improved the graphics quite a lot. The cars looked stunning in this version. I mean, they were good in the first. And so you can check this out if you were a fan of the original. Even if you're not, this is an excellent game. It's got that Mafia storyline. And this is 75% off, $5.49 in India, so reasonable price as well, $10, $8.74 in the UK, $12.49 in Canada, 10 in the Eurozone. You could play the other Mafia games as well. There are 3 of them. All of them are open world, all of them set in different time periods. This was in the 1930s, I believe, and 40s maybe towards the end. And the others were like 40s and 50s. Second one was 40s and 50s, and the third one was like 70s. Next is Snowrunner. So I've been mentioning the Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator games a lot. So I thought I'll mix it up and mention something else. And this is Snowrunner. Snowrunner is my favorite of these style of simulation games. This is more of your off-road simulation, going through difficult terrain and transporting lumber and other things. And this is a sort of game where a bit of water on the road is basically a boss fight. You have to be very careful how you drive through that and not get stuck or something. lot of content, like insane amounts of content in these games. This has multiple maps and most of them are very big. Of course, you're driving around in trucks and cars, so each map is massive open world on its own. And this has, like, when I played it at the start, I think I only had the first 3 seasons. There were like 4 or 5 maps even then, if I recall. And now they've been going and adding more and more. I think we are up to season 13 or something. I think they have like 16 seasons planned, or like 14 or something, and then it's like complete wrap up. But yeah, there is enough content to, satisfy you for years and years. So anyway, this game is 50% off, only $50, 700 in India, 12.49 in the UK, 20 in Canada, 15 in the euros. There are a lot of updates and seasons that you can buy separately as well, or you could prefer, if you prefer, you can buy the premium editions as well. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. So I had to mention one of the Assassin's Creed games, and I thought this one would make the most sense because it's the least assassiny of the Assassin's Creed games. It's more of a pirate game with an assassin's skin, and yeah, it's a very fun game on its own. So you are basically a pirate during the golden age of piracy, and you also happen to be an assassin. So a lot of things to do, a lot of pirate activities that I liked: fishing, hunting. I don't want to call it fishing because you're actually hunting them with spears and stuff. Treasures to find, big legendary ships to fight. The ship battles were amazing in this game. You have a pirate crew that sings sea shanties for you, like iTunes or something. You can like put them on randomize and listen to the shanties all day. Very, very good game. This was like the best days of Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft when they used to make amazing games. Anyway, so this Assassin's Creed Gold Edition is on sale, 70% off, $12, 600 in India, 10.19 in the UK, 15 in Canada, 12 in the Eurozone. Next we have Tom Clancy's The Division 2. I've put this one here because I played this and I actually thought this was alright. They had like a very insane offer a couple of years ago or something where they were giving this for like $2 only. That's when I got it and I played it, and I thought this was alright. Fun looter shooter. I did not like the first game for whatever reason, but second one seemed okay to me. So this is 70% off of the base game, 600 in India, 12 in the US, 10.49 in the UK, 15 in Canada, 12 in the Eurozone. Next is Green Hell. So another mention for this one. This is an open world survival crafting game set in the Amazon jungle. You and your partner in this game are visiting here, and your partner is like an anthropologist or something studying the local tribe, and she gets either kidnapped or something, if I recall. It's been a few years since I played this, and then you have to survive. This is one of those games where you have to make sure you don't get bitten by insects and you have the right anti-venom and all those things. So yeah, a lot of dangerous creatures. You have to keep a note and survive and do all the basic, MacGyver stuff. And this is very positively rated. Good game, very good regional pricing, and the game looks very beautiful. If you like jungle settings and things like that, you'll definitely enjoy this one. 67% off, $824 in the US, $187 in India, $643 in the UK, $956 in Canada, $692 in the Eurozone. Next is Generation Zero, another game I like, which I've often seen people not like this game, but I thought this was alright. Another looter shooter survival style game. Co-op, and this is set in the late 80s. A bunch of teenagers have gone on holiday or something, and they return and everybody's disappeared, and there are these giant mechs running around. So you have to fight them, destroy the mechs, gather resources, and basically play this in co-op with your friends. Really good game, mostly positive, and this got a boost, I think, because they put this game on the Game Pass. So 80% off, $5 only, $220 in India, $429 in the UK, $599 in Canada, and $5 in the Eurozone. Now this is something new that may have flown under the radar, and this is Outcast A New Beginning. So many years ago in the late 90s, I think 1999, there was a game called Outcast. And Outcast was one of the early open world games where you are like a soldier or something who's transported to another planet and something, and you have to live with the local tribes. And this is basically a sequel to that after about 25 years. So yeah, looks pretty good. I've not really heard about this game much. Came out, released quietly, and nobody seems to be talking about this. Looks pretty good. Came out in this year March. Very positive rating, and they have a demo. Price isn't too bad either. So this is 50% off, $30, 1,200 in India, 25 in the UK, 30 in Canada, 30 in the Eurozone. I do plan to get this at some point, but this might be something to wishlist if you like the look of this. I mean, this looks pretty beautiful. Next is Immortals Fenyx Rising. So a open world game within the Greek mythology again. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because it's very cheap, 90% off. $4, $279 in India, $349 in the UK, $549 in Canada, and $4 in the Eurozone. I think I tried a little bit because this was on like a free weekend on Ubisoft, and I thought this was interesting. It's got a bit of humor as well, and very colorful game. Next is another older game. This is Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. So I believe this is the first of the three games. There are three games in the trilogy: Mutated Creatures, Chernobyl, Exclusion Zone, stuff like that. Three games, very well received. We are still waiting for the sequel. Should come out very soon, hopefully. And so you could try this out. The price is very, very good, especially if you want to buy the whole trilogy. Regional price is excellent. 75% off, $5, $141 in India, $249 in the UK, $6 in Canada, $4 in the Eurozone. And the whole bundle, as you can see, is also quite cheap. In India, it's only $212 for 3 open world games. $999, $524 in the UK, $1149 in Canada, to $849 in the Eurozone. I had bought this recently, or maybe it was the end of last year, simply because I was worried the regional price might go. And then finally, a reliable game that I often like to mention, it is Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. So your GTA style game set in Hong Kong. So you are an undercover police officer and you are fighting the mafia or triad, whatever they are in Hong Kong. And yeah, very fun game. I would recommend you play this with a controller because keyboard and mouse controls didn't feel great to me personally. But yeah, another overwhelmingly positive game, well received. Everybody loves it who has played this, and very, very cheap. 85% off, $299, $109 in India, $239 in the UK, $374 in Canada, $299 in the Eurozone.